We spend our entire lives chasing a feeling that is freely given to us every single night, yet we cannot remember a moment of it. We chase peace through meditation, joy through relationships, and rest through vacations. Yet the most profound state of peace we ever experience is the one we enter when we surrender to sleep. We wake up from a deep, dreamless slumber and say, "I slept so well, I feel so happy." But what is this happiness? Who was there to experience it? There were no thoughts, no world, no worries. Only a dark, silent void. What if that darkness wasn't empty at all? What if it was the most densely packed, potent state of existence you could possibly imagine? Welcome to I Have a Cause. In our journey through the states of consciousness, we have explored the waking world, the external universe of multiplicity, and the dream world, where the mind weaves internal landscapes from memory. Both states are defined by a split. There is an I who sees, and an object that is seen. But there is a third state where this entire structure collapses. This is the state of deep, dreamless sleep, known in Vedanta as Sushupti. The consciousness presiding over this state is called Prajna. The Mandukya Upanishad gives us a stunning description of this state, Prajnana Gana, which translates to a mass of consciousness. It is not a void. It is a unified, homogeneous density of pure potential. Imagine a master weaver's loom after the day's work is done. It sits silent, dark, and still. All the threads, the golds, the reds, the blues, have been wound back onto their spools. There is no pattern, no story, just pure capacity. The threads exist, holding the latent memory for every tapestry ever made, and every tapestry yet to be woven. The loom is in a state of profound, potent rest. This is Prajna. In this state, the subject-object split completely dissolves. There is no I to see, and nothing other to be seen. In this utter dissolution, the Upanishad describes Prajna as Anandamaya, filled with bliss. This is not the fleeting happiness of getting something you want, but the unshakable peace that arises from the complete cessation of all striving, all desire, and all fear. We don't remember the bliss itself because the recording device, the mind, was temporarily dormant. The music was real, but no record was made. The Upanishad calls Prajna the Ananda book, the enjoyer of bliss. Today, modern neuroscience is mapping the exact territory the ancient rishis explored. The state of Prajna corresponds perfectly to stage N3, or slow-wave sleep. When we are awake, our brains buzz with fast, chaotic beta waves. But as we slip into deep sleep, our brain waves transform into delta waves, very slow, high-amplitude pulses. This is the signature of profound neural synchrony. Millions of neurons fire together, in a slow, rhythmic beat. The noise of the individual mind gives way to a silent, unified hum of the entire system at rest. During this deep N3 sleep, the brain activates the glymphatic system, its nightly waste clearance service. Channels in the brain expand, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flow through and flush out metabolic waste, including amyloid beta, the toxic protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. At the same time, the brain network associated with self-referential thought and anxiety, the default mode network, powers down. The I, with all its stories, is literally switched off. The bliss we feel isn't something we gain. It's what remains when the incessant chatter of the ego is finally silenced. Peace is our default state, and deep sleep is the living proof. The great sage Ramana Maharshi used this common experience of sleep to anchor his teachings on self-inquiry. He would ask, "You say, I slept happily. Who is this I that existed in sleep, when your mind, body, and the world were absent? And where did this I come from when you woke up?" This question forces us to confront a radical truth. Our true identity cannot be the fleeting ego that appears in the morning and disappears at night. There must be a continuous principle, a witness consciousness, that persists through waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. You continue to exist even when your mind is completely offline. The Tamil poet Saint Thiruvalluvar extended this to the ultimate mystery in his Thirukkural, writing, "Death is like falling asleep. Birth is like waking from that sleep." The daily dissolution into prajna is a micro-rehearsal for the macro-dissolution of death. easing our fear of the final return to the source. Prajna is also called the Karana Sharira, the causal body. It is the seed state. All our latent impressions and tendencies are held here in a dormant form. When we wake up, these seeds sprout, and the waking world manifests once more. Because of this, Prajna is the cause from which the other states arise. It is a gateway, a profound state of rest, but it is not final liberation. We are still compelled to wake back up into the cycle of duality. However, the most compassionate teaching of Prajna lies in its social reality. In our waking lives, we are endlessly divided by nationality, religion, wealth, and politics. These are all constructs of the waking mind. But in the state of Prajna, a king and a beggar, a celebrated scholar and an illiterate laborer, enter the exact same undifferentiated mass of consciousness. There are no hierarchies, no prejudices, no us versus them. Everyone is stripped of temporary identities and returned to their essential nature, pure, unified, blissful consciousness. Deep sleep is a nightly, biological sacrament reminding us of our shared humanity. If we could carry just a fraction of that unremembered unity into our waking hours, it would revolutionize how we treat one another. We would look at another person and see a fellow consciousness who shares the exact same nightly journey, back to the same silent source. The next time you drift off to sleep, realize you are not just passing out. You are stepping onto a loom of pure potential, returning to the solid gold, before the ornaments of the world are carved. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. If these ideas challenge and expand your view of consciousness, please consider subscribing to I Have a Cause. Until next time, be well.